topic, Barrister, which you just mentioned now, this issue of holding our leaders to account. Nationwide protests. I don't know, people choose to call it protest. My own, honestly, what will bring a change, an enduring change in Nigeria, it's far beyond protests. Far beyond protests. That's just the truth. The only thing that can bring a change to Nigeria on Nigeria is revolution. That's the right word. Whatever means of revolution you call it, peaceful revolution, violent revolution, that's the only thing that can bring change, lasting and enduring change. Otherwise, our country cannot. Our leaders they don't listen now. We talked about Kenya, for God's sake. Kenya just went on one day, whatever, and the president caved to pressure. That is the way politicians are supposed. That's the way leaders are supposed to react, or are supposed to administer, or are supposed to act. You listen to people, the people who voted you into power. Anyway, of course, Bola Tinubu, I understand. We've said it before. No, but we didn't vote him to power. He bulldozed himself to presidency. That's just it. So, but in this case, they keep poking us in the eyes. The system they'll flog us and ask us not to cry. Use horsewhip to flog us and ask us not to cry. That's exactly what the president, also over the years, Nigeria's presidents have done that. But in the case of this, in this present dispensation, it is this Tinubu dispensation is the worst. He keeps flogging us and expects us not to cry. When do we cry? Barrister, when do we cry? We've been wept. We've been wept with horsewhip. Horsewhip, not just horsewhip. You remember the kind of horsewhip that was used to flog Jesus Christ during his resurrection. The one that will put not the regular horsewhip, the one that has some kind of sharp whatever wrapped around it. So whenever they send it send the first one where all it goes, it only returns back with the flesh. It tears through the flesh. That is the kind of whip our leaders are using on us. When are we expected to begin to cry, Barrister?
Yes, Nigerians are already crying. The conditions for an uprising or even revolution are already firmly on ground. I believe that if the trend continues, sooner rather than later, the inevitable will happen. My issue is, I have studied revolutions. There is what we call directed revolutions. There is peasant revolution, just general uprising that has no direction, that people just rise and overthrow a government. That one used to end in more chaos. I always give the example of the French peasant revolution that resulted in greater chaos and brought further revolutions. My take and my concern is that we should have, or about now, we should have a nucleus of people guiding the process, bringing out what we want to succeed, the present arrangement, so that there will be no confusion. If that is achieved, it will accelerate the process of a revolution or uprising in the country. If that is not, then we will have a peasant or general uprising that will bring even more chaos than what we want.
Yeah, but
we want people of good minds to come together and begin to articulate a better form of government, a better system that should replace what we have now. And that will take us into that process, into that process of changing the government. I'm yet to see individual voices here and there, but synergy and a collection of or aggregation of those voices, I'm yet to see it happening. It's very crucial that something like that should be on ground.
Yes, I agree with you totally. However, my problem with that way, now, sometimes, let me be frank with you, I understand with history, I understand sometimes we go through history to see, take examples from where it has happened before. But let me be frank with you, sometimes there are some things that are, that may be done the same way as it was done somewhere else, but not succeed, and probably done differently as it was done somewhere else and succeed, even if it failed in the place in the other side. The truth is, you and I know that an organized revolution, it's almost, I wouldn't say it's impossible. An organized revolution in Nigeria is almost impossible. You and I know that. As we speak right now, there is this circulation of protests coming up in August or whatever. We are circulating all the notices, including me. I've sent some, I've shared it as well. As I'm speaking with you now, they are picking the organizers of that, one after the other, visiting them. SSS has started picking them one after the other. That is the point. That is what happens with organized. Now, Nigeria is not as civilized as the West, or the French, as you call it, which is part of the West as well. Revolutions have happened. Yes, I know so much. You read so much about revolution. I think you and I have talked about this over the years about revolution. So you know so much about revolution. However, I have a kind of a different opinion, slightly different opinion from the conventional way things should be done. Because me, I've always believed in things being done organically. I'm an organic kind of person. I like things being done naturally. Let it just be spontaneous. Let it just happen the natural way. Because in the West, in a civilized climate, you can actually do that by organizing a revolution. But in Nigeria, you and I know that you cannot do that. They'll start, that's as they are doing now. They'll go one after the other, picking the organizers of this whole thing. Though, first of all, they say, so when you cut off the head of a snake, of course, the snake becomes toothless, becomes less dangerous or not harmful anymore. That means the snake will eventually die. That is what happens. So they go picking up. I remember during Obasanjo time, when NLC Shomole was so active, then was the head of the protest then during the labor union protest. Obasanjo will always, when the protest was about taking place, what they do, they first of all overnight go raid the Oshomole's house, pick the president of the NLC, and incarcerate him. What happened? We all know. We all saw what happened then. At the moment they pick, when Obasanjo did that, picked Oshomole, I think he did it on 2 or 3 different occasions. What happened? Then, of course, the protest was quelled. So that's what they do. That's what they will apply. So unfortunately, why I agree with you that going with organized protest is good, is a perfect way to go. But in Nigeria, in our current climate, in our environment, we cannot organizing a revolution may not be tenable. That is just because the government will clamp down before it even will clamp down on the organizers. So what I foresee happening in Nigeria, what I foresee taking place in Nigeria is an organically organized violent revolution. Now, let me give you reason why ours might be why revolution going by history, as you said, the unorganized one, inorganic revolutions never succeeded. I still believe that natural things yield natural results. I'm still of that opinion. And that is what the kind of result I expect for an organic revolution to happen in Nigeria. It may not fail. I won't say it will not, but it may not fail as it was recorded in other climes where inorganic or planned or organized revolution was perpetrated. No, honestly, because if we have two options of revolution in Nigeria, and one of the options, the environment we cannot work in our current environment, we are left with one option, and the only option we will be left with is the organic one, where the masses will just take their destinies in their hands and begin to and in the midst of that, let me tell you how it may work. In the midst of that, it depends on how this revolution, the organic one, takes place. It depends on how it is carried out. Now, if it is carried out in a way that the powers that be, the elites, are targeted, if it's carried out in a way that the elites are targeted, honestly, it will work out perfectly fine, because when the elites are targeted, they will be on the run. All political office holders at that point will be on the run. And the moment they are on the run, at that point, someone else who is popular, who is not, or who has not been in the system, will come up to actually lead. There is a way it will happen in a very spontaneous way, that while the elites are on the run, someone will just come, someone with courage will just come somewhere, and it spontaneously will have a kind of a trend where people will just hold on to one person. Somebody comes up and everybody just goes that direction. Say, yes, we can take this person, and this person should lead us.
Don't get me wrong. What I want is for some people to articulate and drive some ideas that we replace, people can coalesce to, can identify with whenever there is an uprising by the mob. The mob uprising is extremely dangerous. It does not even discriminate. Yeah. It does not even discriminate between the elites, I mean those in government, and other elites who are on their own. Somebody like me can fall victim to a mob uprising. Even though I'm even a critic of the government, I'm not benefiting from the government, but when the mob rises out, even people driving cars, which they have suffered to buy, they will say, these are some of them. What I'm trying to do is, by now, I expected an enlightened ideas of what should come after, so that people can identify with, can coalesce to in the moment of crisis, when the crisis starts. Because in the absence of that idea, those measures, people will take advantage of it. And knowing Nigeria, knowing the religious divide, knowing the geopolitical divide, in a case of mob uprising, you don't know how or where somebody will manipulate himself into that power, impose something worse. So if people are beginning to discuss now, what is the correct form of government? How do we achieve that? If we have something tangible on ground, people will identify with it in time of crisis, and there will be a body, that idea would take precedence. It will come to the top. But in the absence of that, when there is nothing to replace the current system, it's going to be a terrible experience.
This is not even one of, it's the only gross I have against Peter Obi. I'm telling you now, in fact, for those of you, I think so many people came bashing me on the comment section about what I said about Peter Obi supporting the Labour Party in UK. Now, let me clear that. For those of you, if you are one of those people who made comments and bashed me on that, You seem not to understand that I don't hate Peter Obi. Someone, because of what I said, he called me a Yoruba man. What do I expect? A Yoruba man will never support Igbo or whatever. So, to clear this is just I want to put this on record. Now, for you viewers, I am an Igbo man, just as Peter Obi. So, and I am a business-oriented person as well, just like Peter Obi. I believe when Peter Obi came up, I believed in him. I believe in Peter Obi, and I believe, and even now, as I'm speaking with you, I still believe that Peter Obi is the president that Nigeria never had. I'm using this past tense because I don't see him anymore. I think he missed the opportunity. He missed the mark because he was not sensitive enough. I expected him to be sensitive with the time, because in life, when it comes to success is about time and season. That is just it. Success and time works hand in hand. It's about time and season. And if you are not sensitive, either as anyone that is pursuing success must be, if you are not sensitive with time, honestly, it will be difficult for you to succeed. You must be sensitive in the spirit. You must be sensitive with the environment. You must be sensitive with the trend to be a kind of sensitive enough to know that it's either this is the time or it is not the time to either take action or not to take action. So that is just it. Peter Obi, again, no one in the history of governance in Nigeria, nobody, I don't know if you have anyone in mind, Barrister, any politician, even as a governor or anything, that has the kind of record that Peter Obi has as a governor. I don't think there is any. I still cannot remember anyone. So he is, in 2023, he was the best candidate. Even now, as I'm speaking with you, he's still the best among those that are out in the public campaigning. That is just the truth. But the truth, my problem with him is, in 2023 election, he failed. We're just talking about, Barrister, you're just talking about this issue of revolution, that someone will have to spearhead it. It must be articulate, it must have a direction, it must have a face, a sort of. That is what I expected from Peter Obi when 2023, when INEC flagrantly corrupted the election, sold out to Tinubu. That's what I expected Peter Obi to do. At that point, I didn't expect him to begin to have trust and confidence in the judiciary. At that point, I expected him to be the face of change in Nigeria. He failed that mark. He failed that test. Like, as I said, I didn't expect him to go preaching peace. Look, I keep telling people something. Peace sometimes can be achieved by problem, by trouble. Sometimes you have to pass through heat to be able to achieve peace. Peace sometimes can be achieved by chastisement, by doing the needful. That is going through where people don't like going through. People are scared of that part that people are scared of passing through. Sometimes it leads, such part leads to peace. You cannot have peace when there is injustice. You cannot have peace when there is misgovernance. You cannot have peace when there is corruption, when corruption is ravaging the entire system. You cannot have peace when our institutions have been bought over and being manipulated by one person. How do you expect to achieve peace? The kind of peace we need in Nigeria right now is peace through forceful means. We have to, because our leaders are so obstinate. They are so recalcitrant. They have become reprobate. That's just the right word. They are reprobate. They are already doomed for destruction. So they are reprobate. They cannot repent. They are irredeemable. So as such, they don't listen to anyone anymore. They don't listen anymore. All they do listen to is their own inner voice that keeps telling them, you can do it. Go ahead and do that. So as such, the only peace that Nigeria can achieve at this point is peace through strength. I'll call it strength. Strength because I expect the populace to be courageous enough to rise up and take their destinies in their hands. And that is just it. This is the reason why I had issue with Peter Obi. He missed it. He would have been, honestly, 2023 was a perfect time for us to actualize this. I expected him to reject that result. I expected him to call for peaceful protests. Obviously, the government could have arrested him. There's no doubt about it. And so what? Why will he be afraid of being? If you are innocent, like someone like me, if I'm innocent and you want to, I wouldn't fear anything. I will be happy to pass through persecution if I'm doing the right thing. My conscience will be clear that, okay, I am doing the right thing and I am fighting. It's just like what, look, if whoever is being chastised is being punished for doing the right thing, telling the truth, such person, honestly, there's no doubt you will pass through that. You will be ready. You pass through whatever you are passing through with a kind of a fulfillment that you pass through it with joy that, okay, you have done the right thing. You have been punished because you've done or you are doing the right thing. So you have you feel no guilt there. Even the punishment, while it may be painful, you will pass through that punishment with a sense of fulfillment. And that is just it. That is what I expected from someone like Peter Obi. The political pendulum was in his favor then. It was unprecedented. We've never had it in the history of Nigeria that way. And I expected him to take the bull by the horn then and do the needful. But he kept preaching peace when there was no peace. You cannot preach peace at the time that there ought to be trouble. And you cannot preach trouble at the time that there ought to be peace. And that is why we have to be sensitive with time. Time and season matters. Even the Bible is written in the book of Proverbs. There is time and season for everything on earth. Even Bible says there's a time to die and a time to live. A time to fight and a time to stay, to be peaceful. Biblically, it is like that. There are times to fight and at times to hold off. And that is just the point. This is my problem. Honestly, this is why I'm having issue with, even though I still see him as the best, I still feel bitter against him because he was supposed to actually help us. He was supposed to be that shining light on the hill. He was supposed to be that model that we all look up to. He was supposed to be the representative, a divine representative of the people. But unfortunately, he failed woefully on that. So for those of you who are bashing me that I am a Yoruba man, therefore I'm against it, I hate Peter Obi, I don't hate him. I only hate his weakness. I hate his weakness. And secondly, I'm an Igbo man, just like Peter Obi too. So I only hate his weakness. That weakness, naturally, I have very, 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 I don't know how to put it. When it comes to weakness, I have phobia for weakness. And I have phobia for weak people. The moment you exhibit weakness, I just naturally, just natural of me to just have it a put off. And that is why you see me, I like people who are strong. People like people that the West generally, they love the Western nations, they love weak leaders, weak African leaders especially. And that is why they hate Putin of Russia. I'm in love with that guy because he's strong. Anyone that stands up to the West and whatever. And that's why I'm in love with people like Donald Trump, because I see him as someone that is a strong leader. So anyone that a kind of exhibits traits of strength, because I believe in strength, peace through strength. You can, if you are strong, you can achieve strength. You can achieve peace. Only strong people achieve peace. You cannot be weak and achieve. No, there is no weak man or woman achieves peace. That the people who achieve, the people who fail are people who fail to actually achieve peace are weak people. Weakness is the fuel. Weakness fuels trouble. Weakness fuels fuels chaos. Weakness fuels disenchantment. That is just the truth. But strength attracts peace. And that is what I expected. Peter Obi was strong enough as a governor. He stood up to the powers that be in Anambra State there. And that was why he succeeded. I expected him to stand up to Nigeria, the Nigerian president then, or Nigerian government under Buhari then. I expected him to lead a revolution. In his own case, a peaceful, not calling for violence, but peaceful revolution. If he had done that, Nigeria would have been talking a different thing today. We could have been singing a different song today. But Peter Obi failed us. He failed us. He failed woefully. And unfortunately, he missed that mark because he cannot get there. How can he get? He couldn't get, if he could not get there when Bola Tinubu was not in power. How do you expect him to get there now that Bola Tinubu is in power, is fully in charge of the entire apparatus of government? So this is my point. Barrister, you have something to say there?
Yes, I always say that we can never stop alerting the powers that be to the coming danger. People are hurting. People are crying. The current, you can, if you are in Nigeria, you can feel the current. You can feel the pulse of the average person. The only way this can go is up, and it will burst. We are sitting on a time bomb. When that time bomb explodes, it's going to be terrible. The earlier something is done by the powers that be, their lack of responsiveness to the suffering of the Nigerian people, their insensitivity is aggravating these problems and is leading us fast towards a precipice where it will be bad. So this is our country. We have no other country. We have a stake in it. We have a stake in it to make it better, not only for ourselves, for incoming generations. Nobody should sit on the fence at this time of our national tragedy. Everybody should speak out. Everybody should help achieve a better Nigeria.
Thank you so much. Anyway, for those of you, I think that we have notice of protests flying around the internet. Please let us, if they are calling for protest, please come out. We all need to actually encourage. We all need to encourage ourselves. Let us fight for ourselves and our children. Let us fight for our future. Let us fight for the future of Nigeria. Now, because fighting for Nigeria means fighting for ourselves. Because if Nigeria is good, we will be good as well. So let us honor whatever protest that is being called out. Let us find a way to be there. Let's encourage one another in this fight. We all are in this fight together. We are in this pain together. We are in this period together. We are in this situation together. So let us come together and actually do the needful. It is very, very important. There need to be a revolution in Nigeria. Otherwise, our leaders will keep taking us for granted. Tinubu, nobody should. I don't know. This cannot be overemphasized. I keep saying that. I literally say this on every of our show of this show. That Tinubu can never do anything wrong, right. He does not have the moral pedigree to do anything right in his life as it is now as a president. He cannot. His foundation is corrupt. Everything about him is corrupt. That is why the IMF and the West are using him. He's just a puppet to the West. And that is why he cannot do anything. Whatever the economy is doing, it is in the West's interest, the Western countries' interest, for Nigeria to fail, for Nigeria to be in chaos, for Nigeria to be in this current situation and even go deeper in the situation. It is in their interest. And this is the press. This is the platform that is controlling Tinubu, the West. So we should not expect any good from Tinubu. Nothing good will ever come from him, because he is being blackmailed. The West have all the material to blackmail him, to coerce him into doing their bidding. And that is why, as you can see, as you can feel and hear, that we've not had a president that is under the whims and caprices, is this much under the whims and caprices of the West as Tinubu. Because he has all it takes for the West to actually put him in the wrong place, unfortunately. So the earlier we understand this and stop giving ourselves false hope that he will be better, he will do better, he will change, he will do whatever, the earlier we understand that he cannot, we understand all the scenarios surrounding him and his presidency. The earlier we understand that, or we understood that, the better for us. The better for us. And that is why we need to take our destinies in our hands. And thank you so much for being with us. Barrister, once again, thank you for everything you have been, all the inputs you've been making on this platform. Thank you for all the contributions. Thank you for all your thoughts. And thank you for honoring us again today.